guys, K-Beast here. So I have something a little different for you this week. So first things first, I'm probably not going to be doing any digital speed paints for a little while after this. While working on this video, I was only drawing for about an hour. My carpal tunnel started getting really bad, so I had to stop. So I'm going to have to figure out my traditional speed paint setup, or maybe do something else for next week. We'll see. I'll play around and see how I feel next week. But just a heads up, that's probably going to happen. But yeah, so about this video, I didn't really have a set subject matter in mind for this week, and I've been thinking about these stories that I started years ago. I have several, and just started thinking about the characters, and I hadn't drawn them in a while, and I found this new YouTube channel where the artist had just done some light sketching in Photoshop with these custom brushes, and her setup is she always does a texture layer when she draws to add something to it, and it looked interesting, so I figured I'd try it out. So that's what I'm doing. I downloaded her brush set, she put it up on Dropbox, and I tried using a texture layer, which was fun. I liked the way it looked, but I didn't like the fact that the texture layer had added color to it. I probably should have desaturated it, because it made my own colors that I picked for coloring a little off. But in any case, mostly what I did here is I just sketched some of my OCs that I hadn't drawn in a long time. And it was kind of nice to revisit them, although, again, my carpal tunnel was really flaring up while I was working on this, so I didn't spend as much time on each face as I wanted to, and I haven't drawn them in a while, so to me they look a little off, because I know how they're supposed to look, and I just wasn't, you know, in my A game this week. So, but it was still kind of fun, and I do want to work on these stories again. They're going to be a webcomics eventually. The characters I'm drawing right now are from a story that I've called Don't Fear the Reaper, and it's heavily influenced by classic rock music, both stylistically and stuff. That story is completely written. I've finished writing it. I just have to storyboard and script and stuff, but the plot's completely figured out. So I just need to sit down and actually start drawing it. So I was drawing the three main female characters from that series, and this particular series of mine was mostly an exercise in drawing different body types. You know, trying to make all of my characters look unique, and I used shapes to kind of inspire that. Like the first girl I drew, if you saw her face, it was a lot of circles. And then the second one, hers, is supposed to be kind of more like soft triangles, and then this girl here is supposed to be rectangles, to kind of inspire, you know, how to draw them and stuff. So yeah, I kind of had a little fun with it, but yeah, I don't usually sketch in Photoshop, unless, you know, when I'm working onto a bigger piece. What I've been doing lately is I've been sketching and then scanning, so all of my sketch work is usually done on paper. And generally speaking, when I sketch on Photoshop, I find it's kind of harder to get shapes down the way I want it. I don't know why that is. It's always been like that. So yeah, but in any case. This girl right here is actually the first character that I ever created, at least in terms of working on a comic. I'm sure I created some characters when I was younger, but in high school, when I was in a sophomore in high school, I created this character. Her look has changed so much, because this was almost 12 years ago, which makes me feel really old, but so her look has changed a lot, and her story's changed a lot, but she was my first character, and her story is one I really want to tell, so I just have to sit down and do it, although this particular story is going to be way more complicated than Don't Fear the Reaper, so it's going to take me a while to get everything figured out. But I've always liked drawing her, so I knew I had to draw her a little bit. And I can't, even though this is really sketchy and loose and stuff, I still kind of like how she turned out. I feel like I really captured you know, who she was with this picture. Her name's Kira, and she's, for starters, she's a vampire, because I, you know, was in high school, and those were like, was really obsessed with vampires back then. Like, I really loved Anne Rice and stuff when I was in high school. So, but she's very, like, kind, and a bit naive, but I had fun drawing her, so yeah, that was fun. And then this next one, was kind of hard for me to nail down in this particular sketchy style. The overlay texture layer definitely made things a little difficult for me to get the colors right. But this particular character, I don't really think I have a name for her yet. She's had names in the past, but I keep scrapping them, so and I don't even have like a set story yet, just an idea for her, but she's someone that I enjoy drawing, so I just have to kind of sit down and figure out what I'm going to do with her. But her main thing is she's an albino, so I definitely wanted to show that in the coloring. So I changed the colors of the sketch to lighten it up, and then colored underneath. And that pale peachy color, by the way, is I actually color picked white. So that pale peachy color is coming from the texture layer. So it definitely altered the colors that I was using, which, you know, was kind of fun, but yeah, I'm gonna have to think of something else for next time. But in any case, yeah, I'm gonna have something new planned for next week. Something that might not destroy my wrist, as I've been doing with the digital art. We'll see how that goes. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you guys next week. Bye!